have these days is that many people have been damaged at home. They now send them to church for us to start the work of repairing in church. And sometimes when you do the work of repairing in church, and then they go back to that same home, they undo what you have done and continue to create certain level of confusion. But having said that, it's not peculiar to this generation. It has always been happening. What we need is to strengthen the prayer base in our ministries. Because when prayer is going on for young believers, as just like Paul said, my little children in whom I travel in birth again until Christ be formed in you. I've given an example of myself. I got saved as a teenager. I was 16 going on 17 when I got saved. My parents were not Christians, so there's no way they would have contributed to the development of my faith. They were Muslims. I mean, maybe a bit of morals from home, but even the morals have asked a leg. Because, what part of the moral do I want to take? My father has multiple wives, and all that. But there is the life of God that, started to guide me from within. And there's the body of believers that when you go there, you are challenged, you are built up. So that even when there's confusion at home and there's persecution at home, there's something in you that holds you up to be able to withstand that. I think for the how do I put it now? For young Christians who are from Christian homes and we have access to their parents, we can continue to challenge the parents to do more at home. But there's the light that must shine in the gathering of God's people, in the faith community, that must compel a young believer to live more by the Spirit and not by the flesh. To the point that even when they get home and the parents are not getting it right, God can start to use them to even be the one to shine their light to their parents. And it is when we as a faith community are organized well enough to create the right kind of mentoring, the right kind of exemplary leadership to those little ones, that the light of God can go from them to their parents. All right? My brother here spoke about, I'm trying to remember now. Oh, church members not responding. Sir, one of the things I'll say is this. Again, when we are well surrounded with enabling environment for people not just to hear the word from the pastor or just reading their Bible, but they are seeing other people living the kind of life that we are trying to get them to live, and we give them opportunity for other people to mentor, coach, and counsel. Not everybody will respond eventually. It is you and I that need to understand how to apportion our energy and time. The people who have refused to respond, we'll continue to pray for them. But we'll pay more attention to the people that are responding. Jesus has 12 disciples. There was still a Judas. Should we blame Jesus for Judas? I said, should we blame Jesus for Judas? So let's do our part. That's what I'm saying. So that at the end of the day, whoever chooses to be a son of perdition, they will have to take responsibility for their choice. After we have done all things well, we should encourage everybody to stand. Whoever still chooses not to stand, we cannot be held responsible for that. And lastly, about media, all I'll say is that the simplest thing about media is that everything you need to know is already made available. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. If you pick up a device now, whether a laptop or phone, and you just go to Google and just say how to set up a YouTube channel with, anyhow phone, even if it's not the smartest of all phone, you see all the steps that will come out. If you follow through, you will set it up. And you need to start from where you are with what you have. The problem most of the time is that people say, until we get this level of equipment or this level of gadget, I cannot do this. No. When you do something with what you have, God will give you what you need. But it has to start from where you are with what you have.
Thank you very much, sir. As we close this session, maybe this is our own YouTube now, channel. There's something you didn't mention, and I don't want to violate your humility, but I just want to push it to the fore. It's also going to give great understanding, just like the case of Elijah and Elisha. I don't know how many years you spent as a pastor at Daystar, but I know it was quite considerate. The issue of servanthood is also an aspect of Zoe life. Sometimes you may not be on the top or at the top, but what you do as a number 2 person can also make you a number 1 person. Ladies